Hi, everyone. This is Vicente Cruz, Oakland Greens Event and Fundraising Coordinator. And today, of course, is our monthly public general meeting. And so if everyone noticed from the email, actually, no, from what we were just talking about before, let me take a breath and not go into some sort of show mode. We would like to send all of our drying and dehumidifying energy and safety energy down to Southern California, and of course, still the folks of Maui that are dealing with fires. And we don't do it often because we kind of think it's redundant. We all know it, but you know, we're all living on stolen land, and many of us are descendants of stolen peoples. So we acknowledge that one of the reasons why we are here and do these meetings, our events, and all that is because of these things. And one of the things we were saying before the recording started, that if we do not realize that these extreme weather events are a new normal, and we don't figure out how to navigate them the way we navigate a corrupt capitalist system and fight for change in that, then we will not survive. The planet will be fine, planet will adjust, but we will not be here. So take that into account first. And again, this is Vicente Cruz, Oakland Greens Event and Fundraising Coordinator, and you are here at our monthly public general meeting. For the agenda review, only thing we added, and that was from the event yesterday, was either a Green Sunday or our own in-person hybrid event for January of debating of the 10 key values, specifically the questions and versus what the actual values are. Nonviolence is what the topic was. So we don't need introductions, but the first thing on the agenda is from the virtual events. Ironically, we actually had a really good discussion, which ended up for the town hall, whether or not it should be a key value or should it be in a platform. And kind of what I came, and then the other participants, please, we'll let them go for as well. What I took away from that too is, well, one, as far as the key values, actually, the questions that are supposed to go with that key value of nonviolence don't necessarily say preclude one from defending oneself of any form. So that's something, you know, to have the debate on it too. And two, that it would make a really good debate topic, whether it be Green Sunday or even something that we do next year as well, or both. Yeah, that's kind of I start. You know, I usually talk so much too. Can Orlando, you were there. Like, can you give us like a little summary of what you took away from the event yesterday?
The overall discussion for me was just very powerful when we was talking about the discrimination, just come for people and once for all, the different measures of violence, cyberbullying, and so forth. I agree with you, Vicente. We put it in our Oakland chapter bylaw that, hey, you can't come in here and sexist, homophobic, bullying, the way that Phoebe was getting talked to, how to take real men to speak up and stand, and you know, speak up for our women. We all been through a lot of traumatic experience and taking that experience to make it better for us all. That's what I took away from it. I believe the way you broke it down, Vicente, and also Greg, for me being a little younger, gave me more understanding on the seriousness of issues we have. The homelessness we was talking about, there's homeless folks just out there. We understand that waste management in the city gonna have a contract deal. If they do a contract deal, who's going to be the next Martin Luther King, or, you know, rest in peace to someone else that make that happen. So that's what I took away from.
Absolutely, and what he was saying was too that that violence is not, or one, that not having some specific sort of language about being able to defend oneself, and especially when it comes to the police oppression that comes with marginalized communities, not having that language is possibly something that keeps POAD folks away from, you know, the diaspora people away from the Green Party in general. And that it ended up tying that even the mindset of letting houseless people walking by houseless people and seeing all the cars on the side of the road, the fact that there is a system that even allows that in itself is also some sort of violence, and people have a right to defend themselves against that too. And Greg, can you give us like your thoughts on the event, please?
Well, I think if people are interested, they should watch the recording because, you know, there was a lot of stuff that was covered. I just want to thank you because we really don't talk about these sorts of things. I mean, the 10 key values are just sitting there, and maybe every so often someone will look at a list, but we really should talk about them, not just let them sit there. So I think that was good, and I think you know you guys covered most of the key points, but there was a lot of stuff, you know, behind it that you listen to recording, you'll get much more out of it. So if you get a chance, yeah. Is the recording up, or it'll be up in a couple weeks, or what?
Oh no, it's up already. It was up last night.
Okay, yeah. So why don't you announce where they can find the recording?
I will. And first, let me totally give you props and big up, because I actually didn't know that there was ever questions. Literally, I had no idea that there was questions associated with the 10 key values. And
yeah.
that was great for you bringing that up. And yes, I also encourage everyone to go and look at our YouTube channel, and that's Oakland Green Party YouTube. And well, also you can get that link through oaklandgreens.org under our virtual town halls and Green Voices. You can do it on, well, actually, if you go to the website, you can link to all of our social media of where it is. And I encourage you also, while you're at the webpage too, right? Kick down $5, right? Spend 1 cup of coffee on the Oakland Greens. We're an all-volunteer organization. We're small and mighty, and we do some really, really good work, you know, even if I will pat, you know, all of ourselves on the back for it. So I encourage you, again, that's over on YouTube, YouTube/Oakland Green Party. And you can see our channels there. Yeah, and it was a good discussion. Dale, do you have anything? Oop,
Let me unmute here as before I try. I missed the town hall. So I got the chance to watch it on the YouTube.
Yes, and if you want, I can just send it to you as well. But if you had any questions about it too, we can totally.
Do I have a question?
Yeah. You have any questions about it at all? Yeah.
Well, a long time ago, I kind of resolved this for myself. I mean, after all, you're not going to stand by and watch unnecessary harm done to another person or to yourself, and that's obviously involves the definition of what's unnecessary and what's really harmful. I admit that.
Absolutely. Report backs from the last couple of movie nights. I have canceled a bunch, which I guess ties into a health crisis and not having health care, having a family go through mental health crisis. You know, the emergency family always comes first. But again, it goes back to what I had said earlier of why we're actually in this, not only to ease my conscience and so I can sleep at night and not feel so guilty about my inappropriate humor or when I burp and fart in public. It's because that, you know, these things are, you know, we've been in a state of emergency for a really, really long time, and it's only getting worse, and we're just trying to figure out how we can motivate you, the few people that'll watch this, whether it be Instagram or that will watch this on YouTube later, to get involved in your communities, right? We do have the power to change. There's way more of us that are struggling than those that are living, you know, a lifestyle that actually begs the question, even if that's something that you want to aspire to. So, but yeah, so we have had those, but we do have our movie night coming up at the end this time. We have our last couple of movies coming up, and I will direct you again to oaklandgreens.org, which is we got our Eventbrite page back that Greg had emailed me and said, hey, I don't know how it happened, but it emailed back up. And so that's how we ended up having, and I could see that there was orders for yesterday's event and the movie nights and stuff too. So oaklandgreens.org, just go to the events tab, and the first link takes you right to our Eventbrite page with all of our different events for the rest of the season. And we will start to have them for next year as well, which I actually have to do that one too. And any question? Well, we didn't have a movie night level two. So the next thing on that too is the new list, and I have not pulled it up. Hold on one second. I did some possible changes, which one? There we go. Two. So for the virtual, and we're looking for space to do a hybrid. So these will be in person and online events. January, doing one on immigration as the premise topic. February, housing. March, Israel. April, race, specifically using a from if everyone remember Phil Donahue show back in the day, and he had Louis Farrakhan on and a bunch of people, and he did a whole series on race, and that would be for April. May would be our linguistics, and the is the premise, but the topic would be profanity in linguistics. You know, is it any good? You know, I mean, I'll come up with hopefully some clever title. Profanity being, well, I don't even know how that came up. I think I thought about it on our walk. June would be our education. Again, July, alternative politics. August would be the future of work. So as we go more and more towards automation, this is a topic that actually came up way back, and Michael Rubin had good things to say about how we could balance that out. So I thought we would do one on future of work. September would be reparations. October, the nonprofit industrial complex. I know everyone really lets me take the lead on the artistic which topics, or does anyone have anything that they want to block for it? Any questions about any of the topics I chose? Or I'm going to start, and we'll probably have something up by next meeting. Or like I'll just start putting so that we have next year already on the Eventbrite page if everyone's cool with those topics. All right, hearing none. Awesome. Movie nights. I think I did a couple of changes too. Or maybe I didn't. But January will be the Orphan Train. If you don't know about that, that was here in America. they rounded up all these orphans and like shipped them on a train far away. It was very, very interesting. It's just not a long film, but it'd be really great discussion. Oh, and the only thing too, because it's only online on their webpage, and there is 3 ad breaks that go through it, but it's not a very long film. February would be Sausage Party, which I am deeming like probably the most racist, sexist movie I've like. It is something out of what we're showing now, out of Blazing Saddles, or Airplane, or History of the World Part 1, The Holy Grail. I mean, just completely everything's inappropriate humor about it, but it's animated. I thought it would be a great discussion to have again about patriarchy, misogyny here in the country. March would be The Whale, which I haven't seen the movie, but the play is amazing. And it costs really kind of about size acceptance and things like that. Would be the discussion how that would come out after, on top of any again cinema questions, because I'm a total geek like that. I love it. And April, You People, which is a really funny movie. Is that you? I'm gonna hold do that. Sorry. April was You People, a really funny movie, interracial relationships. May, we're going to do Let It Burn, again. This will be our 5th season, and so for our 5-year anniversary, we're going to show, and also it would be the anniversary of the MOVE bombing. We'll show the first movie that we showed on movie night, Let It Burn. And of course, it's close to my heart because my godfather was the lead prosecutor who went after the police misconduct for that. And if you want all of those, because it was broadcast live, Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania has those archived, and you can get them. You just have to email them a letter. I think it's like $5 or something, outrageously small. June would be Idiocracy. If you don't know that movie, you do, because we're kind of living it at the moment as the Trump presidency went through. July would be Rabbit Proof Fence. That is an Australian movie that talks about 2 sisters who they tried to do what they did to, well, they did it to kids. They took them away to like Christian camps and tried to breed the indigenous out of them. These 2 girls escaped and led the Australian government on a chase for and they never caught them, by the way. Anyway, I won't give it away completely. August would be The Truman Show. September, only Good Indian, which is another independent film based here for kind of a drama about indigenous life on the reservation. And then the last October would be 8 Below, which is also another movie based on a true story of a Antarctica expedition or South Pole expedition. And they had to leave the husky dogs, and the dogs survived on their own. I don't know. I cried through the whole thing. It's really good. It's a Disney movie, so but it's really, really good. And that would be October. Any suggestions, takeaway?
I think it's a well thought out plan.
Yeah. I'm usually, again, I've been able to have the license, but so far, we've always gotten really good reviews on what movie we picked. So I'm just, going by it, And I want to do one too, where just for cinema, I don't know if maybe it does work out next year, and I'll add up there too. A Bridge Too Far. And that movie, A Bridge Too Far? You'd have to unmute again, Greg, if you did. Anyway, it's an incredible cinema movie. It's a war movie about World War II, but it's really, really well done. Anyway, sorry. Movie night did that, new list, resuming in-person events. Oh, I guess the last thing, I'm gonna just we've resolved to talking after yesterday's event, but I'm just gonna call the game store during business hours until I can get a hold of Chris. Greg ran into her on the street. She misses us, and that's good because we've been trying to make a meeting, and for whatever reason I've had to cancel as well. And so I was like, oh, I just texted her at her personal phone, like, hey, Greg said he missed you. I ran into you. I gave the dates of what I was looking for. I have not heard back, so I'm just going to call her and see if I can nail her down some weekday when she's at the store, and try to do that and use the game store again. What I can say is I moved the virtual town halls to a Monday evening, so it would be after, instead of before our monthly public meeting, it would be after, right afterwards, the next evening. And then movie nights, same last Sunday of the month there. And all of these, I would also bring a laptop with Zoom on it and host virtual as well, where we would talk to people and people would talk to us if they wanted. And and then if and how I would do that on Eventbrite, I'd have in-person tickets and then I'd have virtual tickets. And if no one buys virtual tickets, then okay, well, I don't have to turn Zoom on. I just bring it, and do it that way.
I was gonna say, your setup on that invite, I got one, I got an invite, and I think that's really very helpful for the party of just the seeds that's being planted right now, especially if we don't know the curve of how the COVID is going to go or whatnot. But we do have a remote plan and a non-remote, and I think that would make it better. Thank you, Senator.
Yeah, no worries, man. Anything else on that? Hearing none. The next one on the agenda is if we're going to do a Green Sunday, January. If we're going to try to help them do one before that. Oh, no, we think we did end up with just, and Greg, unmute again and correct me. I think we did next, because we have October and then there's the holiday party. And that we even if we do two events on the same topic, we're still talking about January, right?
Yeah, we have a Green Sundays actually in November and then go to January. Yeah.
Okay, so then first question would be, would we want to do it twice? We want to do two events. Not in succession, of course, but so we do one in January and then we do another one later in the year. We could pick a different value, one of the key values.
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see what the county council wants to do. They may want to do, you know, maybe.
I'm sorry to interrupt. What I was saying is yes, of course, we'll have it on the agenda next county. I was talking about us as Oakland, like specifically something that we would have as well.
Okay.
To do.
Okay.
So a question on that, like, even if we did doing them separate, and I see, yes, your hand, Orlando, would it be two saturation, even if we pick a different key value? And Orlando, you had your hand up, please, go ahead.
I was going to say, for me, I think it'd be easier and it's a balance because since I am on the Oakland Greens, it makes it more better for me because I'm on the county council. So I could bring different ideas and different things to the council. Then while I'm on the national, I can use the national resources to bring it down to us locally, and we can have a local input. So we can have a continuous cycle of growing the party, getting more registered, getting people to be more educated, but knowing that this is a real party, it's real level. This is like the real deal, 253,000 members. This is a real deal. So if we get the young folks to know that this is no game, you can come learn, you can build by building relationships. You got to put in some work, you know, years hard work. We got to trust you. You got to make sure you ain't part of COINTELPRO. You ain't the FBI. You ain't somebody coming to sabotage our party. So folks understand the seriousness on what we have to go through behind the scenes of keeping this movie going, especially in Oakland.
Right, and that is the goal, to get more people registered and involved. So, I mean, even if not, of course, we can completely help, you know, the county produce that event in January as well. And we can always, you know, revisit it afterwards. We can see what happens in January. And actually, if it's super, super popular, then we go, okay, well, you know what, 6 months from now, we're going to do another one, you know, at the end of summer. And we'll pick a different value and it'll just be the Oakland Greens or the county will do another one. I mean, we could have it that way too. But, then I guess we'll just wait until the county council meeting. If everyone's cool with that. Oh, okay, all right. Next one, of course, is our Treasury Report. And as always, I can share or I can just tell you. We have $132 in our PayPal account. That has never changed. I still do have to link our bank account, but since we've been using Eventbrite and I've just been depositing the checks as opposed to PayPal and all that, which I do need. I've been trying to on our videos to promote people to donate. So maybe that'll start to pick up as I keep on going in that on our other social media. But I haven't linked our bank account to it, but I can do. Oh no, you start again. I need to 25 minutes of inactivity. Really? I got to sign back in because I have the fancy security on it. Shuts it off. Oh, what I can say too, which it'll show here too. We had one bill of $100 $122, which is our internet security, our virtual privacy network. Where's my phone? Good luck. That's where the message is going to. Oh, because I'm on my phone on Instagram. All right, you know what? Sorry, people. I gotta share this and start it again.
And Vicente, when we
Yes.
when we do the event, is we gonna do a live feed or?
Yes. Yeah. Everything's going to be hybrid at this point. Whoops. Hope that finished before I did too. I can tell you while that's reloading. Whoops. I have new kittens and they have unplugged all of my computer stuff yesterday and I could put it out too. So the Bank of the West, after a deposit, has 300.
Oh, yeah, okay.
After a deposit has $307.01 in our Bank of the West account. The Oakland Greens after the 122. The savings is after a deposit is $338.82, and the Oakland Green checking after the 122 makes it $1,278.85. After I think we're getting $25 next Eventbrite one that'll go in. That's it. Any questions on Treasury? Hearing none. Social media, again, the same. I can actually do quick. On it now. So there are 253 followers on Instagram. We're following 632. Post 729 to 28. 18. If you haven't been to the Instagram channel, I encourage you to do so. There's actually some pretty good content on there. So our highest, and which is pretty consistent, is about 25. Is same thing with YouTube. What we're getting, I'm trying to get goals again. Still 500 followers on Instagram. I'd love to get the views on the YouTube channel up to 50. Just trying to incrementally grow them and getting the word out there, sharing them more often. The videos, even old ones. Doing music videos with making promotional video, but then the audio music and posting them that way as well. So yeah. Any social media questions?
I think your job that you're doing on social media, like for the elders, get them.
Hey, that's me too. I'm an elder at this point. I'm 60. I get to be an elder now.
Yeah. Show a little training on how to use the links and how to send it out. So when they got their kids and grandkids and so forth, they can show them that they know a little technology.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of times when I'm on the Oakland Greens and I go into other people's lives and all that, and when we post it, and most of the people online are young. So I was asked by one of the indigenous activist groups pages if I would go on TikTok, and I was like, well, I just got back on Twitter, and I also have this thing. I think there's oversaturation of social media platforms. I was like, so I'm not there yet. I usually come in afterwards. We'll see if TikTok even still survives after all the litigation comes out. I was like, thank you, no thank you, but I'm glad we're still following each other here. She's like, oh, we're having great conversation. Like, I'm sure you are having great conversations, but
Yeah. Hey, this is Greg. I'm at another event and I'm gonna have to go. So sorry.
okay. All right, take
See
care.
you later.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay, we're almost at the end. The last thing on the agenda is outreach. And like was said before, is we've been to 2 events here in the Fruit Vale, handing out. I am still thinking about, I'd like to go up on Saturday to MacArthur, if we will, when they're out there with the Black Lives Matter signs, and hand out too. And I think also it's probably worth going Piedmont Ave as well and doing it. So I'll see what dates I have available, and you know, I'll let people know when I'm going to do that. Also, there's we're going to have to start really thinking about the OUSD election. We just had the kind of the debrief of SLAP organization meeting that actually was really good conversations and some strategies and stuff too, you know, just trying to get out there and get people involved, as we've been saying for fucking ever. But again, just putting like a focus on the election that's coming up. And yes, go ahead, Orlando. I see your hand, please.
I was gonna say, on the county council, we're getting questionnaires right now for candidates, like who's running for senator. We got a couple people from District 5 school board. So that's why I was wanting to explain to Greg that by me being on the council and the information that I have, that, you know, is privileged, at least with our Oakland chapter, that information has to be shared and be evolved, because some of the candidates that they knowing on the county level, on our local level, we might not pay with no mind. And it's not fair for us as the Oakland chapter to have to support someone that the county endorsed already, that we don't even know what's about. And then you go to a national level or even on the state party. Now we vote for people on the state party that don't even have nothing to do with us locally. We don't even know what these folks is. So I was explaining to them, we get hundreds of people from the whole county that's sending us this questionnaire. And then we just going by who's popular or who are close to our 10 core values, then it's doing us a disservice, because they're going to just use it like they've been doing. So to sum it up, I don't want to be used no more. I want to be like, y'all going to respect our party, y'all going to respect our 10 core values, y'all going to respect that we're bringing 5,400 people when it comes to Oakland, to a local chapter. We have been a major significant role in this community. Just respect us, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I hope that does get figured. And we've always, so after the nomination period, and questionnaires always go out. You know, and from what happened at the debriefing meeting was, you know, we have to keep holding all of, you know, you ran on a progressive platform, but you're not going to follow through. And if you don't follow through, then, you know, you're going to get called out on that. And, you know, that's what's happening even within groups. Like another thing that came out too was just, again, how much the separation is between the rank and file teachers union, like the actual teachers, versus the administration, which is the same thing that's going on in the Green Party, right? You have the cliques, or these camps of people, which not necessarily even if they disagree on so much on policy or even how to get there, they just don't like each other. So their egos get in the way. Everyone has to check the fucking ego at the door and start going, every decision you make, even every suggestion, word, anything out of our mouths, how is this going to affect 7 generations from now, right? Starting to take that kind of approach to it. And if it's going to be damaging, then I'm not going to say it. And that can be, at least I would, if anyone asked me, and I take that debate in a second, even how we speak to one another. So if you can't speak, you know, you were talking about how in the past people have been called out of their names and people have gotten upset and all this type of shit, right? If we can't not do that, if we can't be cool to other people and be able to have nonviolent communication, especially when we're talking about these social justice issues, fuck, man. Well, one, you know, ain't nobody fucking too big for a beatdown. Like, fucking, so, you know, you better watch what you say to some people, you know, especially if people get protective. So, yes, you know, I agree with you. Getting everyone, everyone has an equal chance of voice, and you know what we always say too, right? We debate ideas, not people, right? I don't know if I give a fuck about you. I care about your policy, right? Same as too. So, election. Oh, and that actually kind of covered the voter guide. So if there's nothing else on that, the next one, I mean, other than we've already made our announcements, so there, I move for adjournment.
I think with the voter guides too, this year, I've been talking to a lot of people in the community. And I think this year we can get a lot of more people that want to do write-ups, want to pay for some slots. Because if you look at, we reached the county, you got all these small local businesses, local community organizations, don't know the 21 cities within Alameda County. It's their benefit, their outreach. We have members in all almost 58 different counties in Alameda, through, you know, Northern and Southern California, and none of these community organizers or people who trying to get funding or trying to get things, they can't get it because it's only this closed network circle that's only allowing people. So I think we can break the glass ceiling this go around, especially with the Trump, the racism, but really help our peoples from a grassroots level to really help them get to where they need to get to, and I'm dedicated.
And thank you, because that actually brought up too, before we go, announcement two. Remember on September 9th or 10th is the Solano Stroll, and we will be there all day. We had a great time last year. We're going to be in the same spot, and that is at the top Albany side of Solano Avenue and near Squash Pretzel Bakery, which I love them so much. Not even paid, just shouting them out. So come by and see us. You'll know it because we'll have music and speeches and jokes. And yeah, come by and debate us and tell us why we're going to be spoilers. I would love to have that one. Come on by. And with that, I move this meeting adjournment. Everyone's cool. Bye, everybody. Thanks. Peace out.